I'm here with Marshal Tuberville, Chief of Geyserville Fire. This is James Gore. We did an update yesterday. A lot of people really appreciated it. I think what we're going to do right now is kind of take another look, Marshal. Hopefully you can tell us what's going on, where we are, what the situation is for the pocket fire here up in Geyserville, where it burnt last night, and where are your concern areas.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So we're in Geyserville where the blue dot is. The Grange is now being called drop point 152. That's why you're seeing at the Geyserville Grange an accumulation of resources there. That's kind of where they check in and meet. So the fire, the first couple days was burning up here more in the Pocket Ranch area. Since we spoke yesterday morning on Tuesday, the fire kind of burned more in the northerly direction up in this way towards Cloverdale Geysers Road, backside of Palomino Lakes. You can see we made some progress there with bulldozers, and I've heard that that's holding pretty well, at least on the west side.
Those are actually your bulldozer lines
that
you guys did there?
Correct. Yeah, those little hash marks like that are bulldozer lines. So then you come down to Highland Ranch Road, which turns right through the middle of the fire. Off of River Road in Cloverdale by the summer crossing, and we got a good line down here on the west side, and that seems to be holding. And that was some of our biggest priority yesterday with an east wind that would push the fire down towards 101 in Geyserville.
There was an east wind coming out yesterday?
Well, yeah, a north and east wind.
Because it seemed like it was moving, it was northwest also. It was pushed, but it was swirling in a couple different places, wasn't it?
Correct, yeah. So when I say northeast wind, it'd be coming out of the north and east, and there's sometimes a north wind, which would be coming out of the north, and then a northwest wind. And that's what we saw yesterday. I believe it was about 1:30. I was actually coming down a road we'd put in with bulldozers, and on Coyote Ridge Road, they were having some issues with trees kind of torching from burning. And that crossed the established line from Tuesday night, Wednesday, and the fire made a pretty, what we call, significant run under the influence of a northwest wind, and it pushed it kind of parallel to 128 towards River Rock Casino, back on this Miller Creek drainage, and it kind of pushed it in that direction. So
where is River Rock Casino?
So River Rock Casino would be right here, right there in that area right here.
And we had on 128 some mandatory evacuations in Alexander Valley yesterday. Correct. It was because of that run on the fire?
Correct, yeah, we were really concerned we weren't going to catch it, and from what I saw from up top, I was really concerned as well. So we had evacuations from 128 at Geysers Road, essentially all the way up to the Vineyard Club, and then also Geysers Road going up, all the way up into what they were calling Calpine, which is Geysers Resort. So that was that push yesterday. That was, so we put all our focus on there. You probably saw some very large air tankers drop in a lot of that red stuff, the retardant, trying to stop it, and we put all our efforts in here. This map, I can tell you, is not the most accurate. The fire did actually burn over Geyser Peak, our repeater sites and cell towers up there. So the fire is actually down in, we're holding a line here from Hawkeye Road or Ridge Ranch Road down to Little Sulphur Creek. And there's what's called the old Boy Scout camp down in this area below this pond. So the fire actually goes, let's use my pencil here, along the edge, the eastern edge of Little Sulphur Creek in this direction, and then it's hung up in this canyon that's down in here between Geysers Road and Geyser Peak. So this is all burned all the way back around, and it's on the backside of Pocket Peak. And we're hoping today maybe to get up on this ridge here between Geyser Peak and Pocket Peak and try to hold that the best we can. But because that's not as populated, and I realize there's homes here on Cloverdale Geysers Road, it may not be, when we allocate our resources on the fire, where we actually put them. But that's kind of an update on what the fire's doing.
Can you show me Palomino Lakes?
Palomino Lakes
is some evacuation up there.
Is in this area here. So this is Palomino Lakes.
So they can see some embers up on the hill, and that's that fire up above them right there.
Correct.
The dozer lines. Do you? I mean, obviously everything is subject to everything that's out there, the conditions. I think one of the things that was fascinating for us to figure out. Do you need to answer that?
No.
Figure out yesterday is that during the Cal Fire update and the Cal OES update, they said yes, this is driven by wind, but these days it's as much driven by terrain and fuel. So even though there might be a northwest wind blowing, it's still inching north. It's still going back into a north wind. Is that correct?
That's true. Yeah. We talk about fire behavior. It's fuels, weather, topography. This time of year, the fuels really dry. Late summer, fall, they've been baked by the summer heat, plus they're in dormancy, and so they're just they're primed to burn. Topography, fire wants to burn uphill, and wind is the most dominant driver of fire behavior. So when wind pushes the fire uphill, everything aligns. That's where it really gets explosive. So and that's everything you're saying is correct.
Well, I think the big thing that everybody needs to realize right now is that that these advisories that are out, they're going out all over the place. But stay tuned. You should have your bags packed. You should be ready to go. But Marshall and I were just talking. I can see above him. I don't know if we can see on this video, but there's a little bit of wind. But this is nothing like yesterday morning when you and I were out here. Correct. And we were talking. We were at 15-mile-an-hour winds down here. I headed up with Joe up into the hilltops. We saw you getting around. It shows the work when you get up there that if you can really get a true fire break, we can see up there in those areas black on one side of the road and then vegetation on the other side. So it shows what you can do. The other thing that's amazing to me is when you talk about preventative maintenance and forest protection is going into the future, is that the lands that were heavily grazed up there that have good grazing land are smoldering and slow burning, right? The lands that have no management up there that had big rains this last year, you know, we're talking about 2-3 foot high grass, and it is rolling up there. So it shows us what we need to do, I think, right now to contain. But then it's also, I look forward to building a resilient future for you with this area, get the funding we need to from the geysers and other areas to get shit done.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yep.